Good morning, dear students. In this class, we see about animal tissue and cell division. Animal tissues. The assemblage of one or more types of specialized cells is called as tissue. The study of tissues are called as the histology. The study of tissues are called as the histology. There are two types of animal tissues. One is simple tissue and the other one is the complex tissue. Simple tissue, that means the group of cells similar in origin, form, structure work together to form a specific function. But in the complex tissue, the group of cells different in structure, function, but coordinate to perform a specific function. Now, the classification of animal tissues. The animal tissues are classified into epithelial tissue, connective tissue, muscular tissue and nervous tissue. Now we see about the epithelial tissue. The epithelial tissues are the simple tissues, one or more layers covering the surface are the internal organs. The epithelial tissues, the cells of the epithelial tissues are closely arranged. It lacks blood vessels. There are two types of epithelial tissue. There are two types of epithelium. One is simple epithelium and the other one is compound epithelium. The simple epithelium is further divided into squamous epithelium, cuboidal epithelium, columnar epithelium and ciliated epithelium. Now we see the epithelial tissues. Now we see the functions of the epithelial tissue. The skin, which forms the outer covering of the body, protects the underlying cells from drying, injury and microbial infection. They help in absorption of water and nutrients. They are involved in elimination of waste products. Some epithelial tissues perform secretory function. For example, secretion of sweat, saliva, mucus and enzymes. Simple epithelium. The simple epithelium has a single layer of cells. It is found in the lining of the body cavity and ducts. The first one is the squamous epithelium. The first one is the squamous epithelium. Now we see about the squamous epithelium. The squamous epithelium, it is made up of thin flat cells with a prominent nuclei. These cells have irregular boundaries and bind with the neighboring cells. The squamous epithelium is also known as pavement membrane, which form delicate lining of the buccal cavity, alveoli, lungs, proximal tubule of kidneys and covering the skin and the tongue. Now the functions of the squamous epithelium, it protects the body from the mechanical injury, drying and the invasion of the germs. Now the next one is the cuboidal epithelium. It is composed of a single layer of cubical cells. The nucleus is round and lies in the center. This tissue is present in the thyroid vessels, salivary glands, sweat glands and exocrine pancreas. Now the functions of the cuboidal epithelium, the main function is secretion and the absorption. Now the next one, ciliated epithelium. Ciliated epithelium, certain columnar cells bear numerous delicate hair-like outgrowth called cilia and are called ciliated epithelium. Function. It is seen in the trachea of windpipe, bronchioles, kidney tubules, fallopian tubes, and oviducts. The function of the ciliated epithelium is a movement of the particles. Now the next epithelium is the glandular epithelium. These epithelial cells are often modified to form specialized gland cells which secrete chemical substance at the epithelial surface. This lines the gastric glands, pancreatic tubules, and the intestinal glands. The function of the glandular epithelium is the secretion. Now the next topic is the compound epithelium. It consists of more than one layer of cells and gives the stratified appearance. Hence they are also known as the stratified epithelium. It covers the dry surface of the skin, the moist surface of the buccal cavity and pharynx. The function of the function of the compound epithelium, that is the main function of the compound epithelium is to give protection to the underlying tissues against the mechanical and chemical stress. Now the next one is the muscular tissue. Muscular tissues are made up of muscle cells. It forms the major part of the contractile tissues. The muscular tissue is composed of myofibrils. Each muscle is made up of many long cylindrical fibers. The muscle tissues are arranged parallel to one another according to their structure, location, and the function. They are of three types. One is skeletal muscles, and the other one is smooth muscle, and the last one is the cardiac muscle. Now the first one is the skeletal muscle. Skeletal muscles, it is attached to the bones. It is responsible for the movements. They work under our control, so it is called as the voluntary muscles. The muscle fibers are elongated, cylindrical, and unbranched, with alternative dark and light bands are called as stripped or the striated appearance. It is multinucleate. It has many nuclei. It occurs in biceps or triceps. It undergoes the rapid contraction. And next one is the smooth tissue. Next one is the smooth muscle. It is spindle shaped. The smooth muscles are uninucleate. That is centrally located. It has no striations. It not under our control, so it is called as the involuntary muscles. It is present in walls of the internal organs like blood vessels, gastric glands, intestinal villi, urinary bladder. Now the last one is the cardiac muscle. It is a special type of muscle. It is a special type of tissue that is called as the cardiac muscle. It is present in the heart. The muscle fibers are cylindrical, branched, and uninucleate. The branches join to form a network called as intercalated disc, which are unique distinguishing features of the cardiac muscles. The contraction of cardiac muscles is involuntary and rhythmic. Now the next topic is the nervous tissue. Nervous tissues comprises of nerve cells or neurons. They are the long cell of the body. Neurons are the structural and functional units of the nervous tissue. The elongated and slender processes of the neurons or the nerve fibers. Each neuron consists of a cell body or cyton with a nucleus and cytoplasm. The dendrons are short and highly branched protoplasmic processes of cyton. The axon is a single, long fiber-like process that develops from the cyton and ends up with the fine terminal branches. They have the ability to receive the stimuli from within or outside the body and send signals to the different parts of the body. Connective tissues. Connective tissues, it is one of the most abundant and widely distributed tissue. It provides structural framework and gives support to the different tissues forming organs. It prevents the organs from getting displaced by body movements. It has the components of matrix, connective tissue cells and fibers. It is classified into connective tissues proper, supportive connective tissue, dense connective tissue and fluid connective tissue. Now the first one is connective tissue proper. Connective tissue proper consists of collagen fiber, elastic fiber and fibroblast cells. Now the first one is the areolar tissue. It has the cells and the fibers loosely arranged in semi-fluid ground substance called matrix. It takes the form of fine threads crossing each other in every direction, leaving small spaces called areolae. It joins skin to muscles, fills spaces inside the organs, and is found around the muscles, blood vessels, and nerves. Now the functions of the areolar tissue, it repair of tissues after injury and fixes skin to the underlying muscles. Now we see about the adipose tissue. Adipose tissue is the aggregation of fat cells or the adipocytes. It's spherical or oval in shape. It serves as fat reservoir. They are found in subcutaneous tissue between the internal organs around the heart and the kidneys. Now the functions of the adipose tissues, they act as a shock absorbers around the kidneys and the eyeballs. They also regulate the body temperature by acting as a insulators. Now the next one is the supportive connective tissue. The supportive connecting tissues, the supporting or the skeletal connective tissues forms the endoskeleton of the vertebrate body, which protects various organs and help in locomotion. Cartilage, they are soft, semi-rigid, flexible and are less vascular in nature. The matrix is composed of large cartilage cells called chondrocytes. These cells are present in fluid-filled spaces known as the lacunae. Cartilage is present in the tip of the nose, external ear, end of the long bones, trachea and larynx. Now the functions of the supportive connective tissue, that is, it provides the support and flexibility to the body parts. Now the next one is the supportive connective tissue, that is bone. It is solid, rigid and strong, non-flexible, a skeletal connective tissue. The matrix of the bone is rich in calcium salts and collagen fibers, which gives the bone its strength. The matrix of the bone is in the formation of concentric rings called lamellae. The bone cell present in lacunae are called osteocytes. They communicate with each other by a network of fine canals called canaliculi. The hollow cavities of spaces are called marrow cavities, filled with bone marrow. Now, the functions of the bone, it provides shape and the structural framework to the body. Bone support and protects soft tissue and organ. Now the next one is the dense connective tissue. It is a fibrous connective tissue. It is a fibrous connective tissue densely packed with fibers and fibroblasts. Dendrons, they are cord-like strong structures that join skeletal muscles to bones. Dendrons have great strength and limited flexibility. They consist of parallel bundles of collagen fibers between which are present rows of fibroblasts. Now the next one is the ligaments. They are highly elastic structures and have great strength which connect bones to bones. They contain very little matrix. They strengthen the joints and allow normal movement. Now we see about fluid connective tissue. The blood and lymph are the fluid connective tissues which link different parts of the body. Blood contains corpuscles which are red blood cells that are called erythrocytes. White blood cells that are called leukocytes and platelets. In this fluid connective tissue, blood cells are present in the fluid matrix that are called as plasma. RBC and WBC. RBC, red blood corpuscles that are called erythrocytes. The red blood corpuscles are circular, biconcave. They contain a respiratory pigment that is called as hemoglobin, which is involved in the transport of oxygen to tissues. White blood corpuscles, they are larger in size, that contain distinct nucleus and are colorless. They are capable of amoeboid movement and play an important role in body's defense mechanism. Now we see about the types of YBCs. There are two types of YBCs that are granulocytes and agranulocytes. Granulocytes have irregular shaped nuclei and cytoplasmic granules. They include the neutrophils, basophils, and eosinophils. Agranulocytes lack cytoplasmic granules and include the lymphocytes and monocytes. Blood platelets. They are minute, enucleated, fragile fragments of bone marrow that are called megakaryocytes. They play an important role in blood clotting mechanism. Lymph is a colorless fluid filtered out of the blood capillaries. It consists of plasma and white blood cells. It mainly helps in the exchange of materials between blood and tissue fluids. Now we see about the next topic, cell division. All cells reproduce by division, and division of cells into daughter cells is called cell division. There are two types of cell division. There are three types of cell division. First one is amitosis, that is direct division. Mitosis, it is indirect division. The last one is meiosis, that is reduction division. Now the first one, that is the amitosis. During amitosis, nucleus elongates first and a constriction appears in it, which deepens and divides the nucleus into two, followed by the cytoplasm divides, resulting in the formation of two daughter cells. The next one is the mitosis, that is indirect division. It was first discovered by Fleming in 1879. In this cell division, one parent cell divides into two identical daughter cells, each with a nucleus having the same amount of DNA and same amount of chromosomes and genes as the parent cells. Mitosis division consists of two events. That is, one is karyokinesis and the next one is cytokinesis. Interphase. It is the resting phase of the nucleus. It is the interval between two successive cell divisions. The cell prepares itself for the next cell division. First one, karyokinesis. In the karyokinesis, the nucleus divides into two daughter nuclei, that is called as karyokinesis. It consists of four phases, that are prophase, metaphase, anaphase and telophase. Now the first one is prophase. During this stage, chromosomes become short and thick and are clearly visible inside the nucleus. Centrosome splits into centrioles and occupy opposite poles of the cell. Nuclear membrane and nucleolus disappear gradually. The next one is metaphase. The duplicated chromosomes arrange on the equatorial plane and form a metaphase plate. The centromere of each chromosome divides into two, each being associated with the chromatid. Next one is anaphase. Here the centromeres are touching the two chromatids divides and the two daughter chromatids of each chromosome separate and migrate towards the two opposite poles. Next one is telophase. Each chromatid or the daughter chromosomes lengthens, becomes thinner and turns into network of chromatin threads. Nuclear membranes and nucleolus reappear in each daughter nucleus. The next event is cytokinesis. Here the division of the cytoplasm into two daughter cells by constriction of cell membrane, that is called as the cytokinesis. Now we see about the meiosis. The term meiosis was coined by Farmer in 1905. It is also called the reduction division because the chromosome number is reduced to haploid N from diploid to N. Meiosis produces four daughter cells from a parent cell. Meiosis consists of two divisions. One is heterotypic division, that is called as first meiotic division, and the second one is homotypic division, that is called as the second meiotic division. The first one, meiosis 1, that is the heterotypic division. Heterotypic division, that is meiosis 1, it divides the diploid cell into two haploid cells. Here the daughter cells resulting from this division are different from the parent cell in the chromosome number. So that is called as the heterotypic. This consists of 5 stages, that is prophase 1 and metaphase 1, anaphase 1, telophase 1 and cytokinesis 1. And the next one is homotypic division, that is also called as the meiosis 2. In this division, the two haploid cells formed during first meiotic division divides into 4 haploid cells. The daughter cells are similar to parent cell in the chromosome number, so it is called as the homotypic division. It consists of 5 stages, that is prophase 2, metaphase 2, anaphase 2, telophase 2 and cytokinesis 2. Now we see about the difference between mitosis and meiosis. Mitosis, it occurs in the somatic cells. Meiosis, it occurs in the reproductive cells. Mitosis involved in the growth and occurs continuously throughout life. Meiosis involved in gamete formation only during the reproductive active age. Mitosis consists of single division, but the meiosis consists of 2 division. Mitosis, 2 diploid daughter cells are formed, but the meiosis 4 haploid daughter cells are formed. Mitosis, the chromosome number in the daughter cell is similar to the parent cell, that is 2n, but in the meiosis the chromosome number in the daughter cell is just half of the parent cell. In mitosis, the identical daughter cells are formed, but in meiosis, daughter cells are not similar to the parent cell and are randomly assorted.